Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy TUSKO to the day, Mr. Flow So Good, Matiba Totle, Mrs. Keep Up My Wat. Y'all already know, but to back with you guys with yet another YouTube video. I know that I generally do not upload a lot on this YouTube channel, and that's partly because generally in the past few months I haven't been uploading a lot on YouTube in general, even on my hip hop channel. But I'm looking to, do more and more of uploading on this particular channel for the next 6 months. Hopefully, if all goes well, I'll probably have past 100 videos by the end of the year. So do make sure to click that red button and subscribe. Also making sure to click the bell next to that red button, because that's what will make sure that YouTube will notify you every single time I upload. Now today anyway, we're going to be discussing a breaking story. I'm sure you guys have already seen, came out earlier today, that the DA MP Phumzile Van Damme was actually or allegedly assaulted today at the VA waterfront in Cape Town. And she basically came out to post a video about it. And this is what she basically came out and said. She also said, management of at VA waterfront, if you're going to allow racism and racists on your premises, please announce it to all. I will not stand for anyone's racism towards me or anyone. And don't send me some PR cliched response either. Action. She continued and said, the family, this lady was filming me the entire time, so I tried to take photos, and that little shit in the black t-shirt came to my face and came within my face and footsec you black and threw on the ground. He was threatening violence, so in self-defense, I punched him in the head. She continued and said, so at VA Waterfront, given the chance, you do not tell people racism is not allowed in your mall. Ban this family from your premises so we can see you're serious. You have their photo, and no, I won't stand while violence is threatened towards me, risk being beaten. Enough. She continued and said, and at VA Waterfront, the right way to deal with this would have been to take my details and the family's details and apologize to me for what I'd experienced. Your manager did neither. He treated me like the rubbish and told me to go. So I said, fine, I'll have to expose you.
And I said to her, she must apologize. She refused. And then I was standing in the queue and she said she's going to somewhere push me aside.
Out of her way?
I was not in her way. And then when I went out, she was standing there with her family in a threatening manner. And I went to her and I said, why are you looking at me in a threatening manner? And then she said, it's because you're black. And then her son came and said, footack in my face. And I said, what makes you give you the right to say that? He said, it's because I'm black. And you let them go as the manager of the VNA waterfront.
I'm trying to be reasonable.
No, you are not reasonable. I told you, people like that are not allowed at the VNA waterfront.
Now, just before I begin to, give you my take on this, I have to just say from the beginning of this, I'm not a particular fan. I'm not a fan of racism. Doesn't matter whether it's coming from black people or coming from white people, Chinese people. It doesn't matter. I think racism is a bad thing. And generally, racist people are morally reprehensible human beings that are human beings nonetheless. They are not people that should be celebrated. However, in this particular situation, which is why I think it's weird, because she also did tweet the fact that she's tired of the media calling her, trying to get the story and so on and so forth. It's about clicks and so on. I think she should pick up and talk to the media, because this story is not exactly clear on what exactly happened. Because for example, one of the questions that I've been asking myself is the fact that, does this happen while the manager was there, or did this happen while the manager was not there, and then the manager was called and the manager, arrived and found her having punched the boy? These are some of the questions that I think she does need to sit down and answer, so that we get a clear picture of what exactly went down. And I think when you're in a situation like this, you would want the media to be a friend rather than you just treating them. And that's the arrogant attitude that a lot of people have, towards the media. And I'm saying you would rather have them as an ally rather than have them as an enemy if you're going to go through a situation like this. However, if it did happen in front of the manager, then I agree. VA Waterfront should do something about that manager. I think as a manager, your job is always to de-escalate a situation. And if somebody is clearly being a racist in that particular situation, I think the best way to deal with it is always to make sure that the racist person understands that racism is not allowed within your premises if you want to run a sound business. And I think a morally sound business, as most of us would actually agree. However, the problem that I'm seeing with this particular situation is the fact, and part of what you're seeing on social media right now, with a lot of I would say the left wing type of point of view of this, is a lot of people are coming out to actually say that, yo, look, she did the right thing, she should have punched the boy, and this is what racists actually deserved. You need to punch them, and so on and so forth. And this is where I actually come in, and I actually have a bit of a problem with this issue. I certainly believe that racism is wrong, racism is bad. However, I do 100% believe that people have a right to be racist, okay? I believe that a person has a right to be a racist so long as that racism does not escalate to you inciting violence against somebody else or you attacking somebody else. So in this particular case, for example, if that woman was looking at, Miss Van Damme in a threatening manner, and, she did not incite violence against her, or did not try to hit her or push her in any shape or form, in that particular situation, I do not believe that there is anything wrong that the family has done. By all means, I'm not a fan of racism, but if you want to be a racist, please, you are free to be a racist so long as you do not violate the rights of other people that exist within, our society. The issue that I then have in this particular situation is that she says that the woman pushed her, which that is assault, and they were threatening violence against her. Now, once it escalates to that, then it becomes a problem, and then, obviously it becomes warranted for the person to be able to defend themselves and actually punch you. However, there's also a bit of a discrepancy, because she says at some point her and the family were not necessarily in contact, but they were looking at her, and then she went up to them and basically said, "Why are you looking at me in a threatening manner?" Now, I don't know what, Ms. Van Damme's politics is or how she thinks about things. However, people looking at you in a threatening manner is not wrong, okay? And it does not necessarily warrant you punching them. So I'm hoping the whole issue of her saying they were trying to be violent towards her and so on and so forth is not her trying to cover up for the fact that she might have gone up to them and they said they don't like her because she's black, and she eventually punched them for that reason. Because again, like I'm saying, if somebody is being racist, the best form of recourse that she could have done is she could have called the manager or called security or whoever, and she could have called the manager actually and told the manager, look, this person, is looking at me in this particular shape or form, and they are saying that they don't like me because I'm black or something like that. Do you guys allow racism within, your vicinity? And if so, let us know. If not, could you please escort them out of the venue? That would have been a better solution than going up to them and eventually getting to a point whereby you punch somebody. So I'm hoping that her line of events is the way that she says it is. They were actually threatening her. I'm hoping that, it's not a situation where she actually went up to them and asked them why they're looking at her in a threatening manner, and they said it's because you're black, and then she decided to punch them. Because as much as that is morally a reprehensible thing to do or to believe or to say to somebody else, a person is allowed to be racist, okay? They're allowed to not like people because they're black. That's their prerogative. That's their freedom. I don't really care so long as you don't attack somebody else because of it, so long as you don't threaten somebody else because of your racism. I'm not saying racism is okay. I'm just saying that if they didn't threaten you or didn't try to hit you, then you were also wrong by going up to them and, basically escalating the situation even more, getting to a point whereby she eventually punched them. Now, as far as her talking about the fact that she wants them to be banned from the mall and so on and so forth, I don't know, man. I'm not particularly a fan of people being banned from public spaces. I'm not a fan of racism either. I do believe that if the boy did threaten violence against her. If he did, if the woman did actually assault her the way that she says, like pushed her, because that is assault, then it does warrant for the institution or for the VA Waterfront to say don't come back. However, if that did not happen the way that she says it happened, and these people were just being racist by saying we don't like black people, I'm not so sure that that warrants somebody not coming back to. Like, I feel like it's all about conduct for me. It's less about your beliefs. If you don't like black people, by all means, I don't care. I think you're a morally reprehensible person, but I don't care. You can hold that point of view. That's your business. So long as you do not attack somebody else because of that. So again, if the line of events that she accounts are what actually happened, then yes, I would agree with them not being allowed to come back to the mall up until they either realize that what they did was wrong and apologize, or just don't come back. If you're going to attack people simply because you don't like black people, or on the basis of their skin color, religion, or whatever other reason you might have in your head for you to do that. But you guys leave me your comments in the comment section, letting me know what you think about the situation. What do you guys think of Phumzile Van Damme coming out and saying that she was basically provoked and harassed and eventually assaulted at the VA Waterfront, and on top of that, she eventually, had to get into a physical altercation with these people. What do you guys think of how the management of the mall handled it? How do you guys think the situation should have been handled from both sides? And what do you guys think of racism? Do you guys think that simply because that's what she's saying, and where I slightly disagree with her when she says because somebody is simply racist, they shouldn't be allowed in certain spaces? I don't believe that to be okay. I think if somebody acts on their racism, then and by acting I also mean inciting violence against somebody else because of their racism, then they should not be warranted to be within certain spaces. But if they're just racist and they keep their racism to themselves, they don't attack anyone, I don't care. Okay, but y'all leave me your comments and definitely subscribe. Awesome.